Baroque. The Baroque period, spanning the 17th and early 18th centuries, marked a shift in art and culture, characterized by overload, passion, extravagance, and ornamentation. It emerged during a time of tension and was initially considered ornate and deceitful. Romanticism was an artistic and cultural movement that took place in the later part of the 18th century and early 19th century. This artistic pronouncement emerged as a revolutionary reaction against neoclassic art and rationalism. Most romantics were rooted in the passions and ideals that were motivated by their own feelings as individuals. Impressionism. Impressionism was a major 19th century artistic movement focused on capturing the impression of the world, especially in painting. It influenced other arts and was rooted in a desire to imitate reality and align with the prevailing positivist thinking of the time. Post-Impressionism. Post-Impressionism refers to a series of artists of different tendencies who worked in the last decades of the 19th century, in the period between the last Impressionist exhibition in 1886 and Cubism and the beginning of the 20th century. The post-impressionists sought to give a different approach to their paintings, moving away from realism. They wanted to dive into something much deeper and more exciting. They wanted to be able to express their feelings through art. Expressionism, emerging in the early 20th century in Germany, Expressionism is defined as an avant-garde movement characterized by the subjective, distorted, and deformed repetition of reality, reacting contrary to the principles of objectivity or impressionism. Thus, discovering delves into depths of feelings, ideas, and emotions of the individual where dark and taboo themes emerge as a result of the historical context. Loneliness, misery, pessimism, and death are represented by colors and imposing mixtures.
Cubism is the name given to a 20th century artistic movement that burst onto the European art scene in 1907, marking a strong distancing from traditional painting and setting a vital precedent for the emergence of the artist avant-garde. Surrealism. This was an aesthetic and philosophical movement that sought to break the barriers of reality. Its goal was to get as close as possible to what Sigmund Freud called the unconscious, the source of dreams. It should be noted that this movement was inspired by the Dadaist art movement, so both have similar concepts. What the surrealists saw was to break the control by applying automatic painting and grading techniques, reproducing the atmosphere of dreams of propaging trance states. This is why it was considered one of the most polemic artistic moments, since it totally left aside the use of reason. Pop art. Pop art is an artistic movement that emerged in the mid 20th century in Great Britain and the United States, and which was a response to the abstract expressionism that prevailed in the visual arts of the time. It was a movement contrary to abstract expressionism, which sought the reunification of life and art through the cooling of emotions, that is, by distracting the viewer from the work so that he could think about it. Expression abstract. Abstract painting or pictorial abstractionism is, together with abstract sculpture and abstract music, one of the manifestations of abstract art or abstractionism, the modern aesthetic trend born at the beginning of the 20th century and sustained in time until the advent of the 24th century. This trend is characterized more than anything else by its opposition to figurative art, that is to say, it moves away from the pictorial imitation of reality and instead proposes a new reality, in its own terms, that is, in its own visual language of shapes, colors, and lines. Abstract painting from its beginnings manifested itself in different ways, resorting to different techniques and expressive strategies, from the commitment to geometry to aspects close to surrealism. Thus, it gave rise to numerous aesthetic movements inscribed in the same aesthetic. Minimalism. The movement emerged in the 1916 in the United States and was formed by a group of young artists who hoped to innovate through simplicity. In those years, pop art dominated the art scene, and it did so through excess, color, and saturation of information. What characterizes minimalist art is the move from the flat wall to the open space of the exhibition room. Because of this, the genesis of any work will be closely linked to its location.